This video is all about how to submit offers as a real estate agent. So stay tuned. Hello my fellow real estate agents and soon to be real estate agents. Today I want to come to you with a video that was a little bit different than what most realtors make, and to be honest, most of the videos that I make personally. I want to come to you with practical advice that you can use in the field with your active clients today. And what we're going to talk about is exactly how to submit an offer to make sure it gets accepted, and it gets accepted for the terms and the price that your client is willing to pay, right? This is extremely important because I, as an agent, when I'm selling a house, I will get the most ridiculous presentations of offers, whether it's low, high, or none of the above. But the presentation of the offer is so important, and how you set it up. So I want to kind of go over exactly what I do to get all of my offers accepted. Now, to give you a point of reference and to kind of explain why anything I say is valid, in the last, I would say 5 months, I have been involved in 7 multiple offer situations. I have won all 7 of them, and only one time did we have to pay asking price. The rest of them were at least $5,000 to $10,000 below asking price. How did I do it? Well, I'm going to explain. While I do this, please take one moment, like this video, comment your thoughts below, let me know what you think about it, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're trying to hit that 1,000. I think we're only like 40 away at this point, so I'm very excited. Anyhow, back to the video, let's get started. There's really 5 steps to submitting an offer, and negotiating in real estate is extremely different than any other field, because in real estate you have a professional, a third-party professional representing both sides. So I, as a realtor, am negotiating with another realtor who is in most cases as knowledgeable about the market and the process as I am, so there is no benefits of experience, this, that, the other, right? So how do you kind of give yourself and vice versa, your clients, the advantage by kind of submitting and presenting your offer in the best way possible? And the negotiating process actually starts way before we even start talking shop, which means pretty much talking the price, the terms, submitting the offer. The negotiating starts way before, and it's overlooked so many times, and it drives me crazy. So let's do this. So 5 steps. Step number 1, very important, is to gather information. The reason I win all of my multiple offers, knock on some wood, is because I gather information. Before I submit the offer, or if I see my client is interested, if you're showing a house, the real estate agent is gonna ask you for feedback no matter what. Every time they ask for feedback. If your client is interested in the home, it's important to mark interested, give some light feedback on what they like, and then call the agent and explain, hey look, we're thinking about making an offer. Tell me, tell me the price that your client is looking for. That's something we'll talk about later. What else do I need to put in this contract for your client to be happy? Do you need a longer closing date? Do you need a shorter closing date? Do they prefer an as-is sale, or is a regular sale okay? Is there any special conditions? Do they need to buy a house? Tell me what they need, and I will work it in the contract. That is so important, because I have won multiple offers, 10 grand below asking price, simply because the seller wanted to close later rather than sooner, or the seller needed to close on a very specific date, but no other real estate agent had asked. And to be honest, the listing agents never occurred to them to actually negotiate that part. So I call, I ask, and I get it in the contract. Because for most clients, it doesn't really matter when you close, because most people are flexible on time, right? So step number 1 is call the listing agent and gather information. Find out why the seller, not necessarily why the seller is moving, but what the seller needs to see on the contract for them to say yes. And make sure you let the agent know that you're not talking about price, anything but price. That's something you will talk about later. And then make some suggestions to the agent, because oftentimes the agents will say something like, just submit an offer and we'll go from there. That's BS. That's laziness on the other agent's behalf. But you have to catch it and kind of put pressure on them a little bit to get more information. So what you say is, okay, I got you, but let me ask you a question. Do they need a longer closing date, earlier closing date? Or do they have to buy a house? Talk to me here. What do you need? And then they'll spill the beans, and then you shut up. It's so important to just ask, shut up. And then just keep letting them talk, and they'll just tell you everything you need to hear. Oftentimes, I've had agents tell me, as long as you, like asking $595 for a house, as long as you come in the 550s, 560s, we'll have a deal. I was gonna come in at 570, not anymore. right? So that's very important. Step one, gather information. Step number two, I don't know why people don't do this, but you have to do your homework. It doesn't matter what the asking price is. It doesn't matter how many days they've been on the market. Well, it does to an extent. But when you're submitting an offer, you've pretty much gone past all that, and you need to do homework to see what the home is worth. If the home is asking $500,000 and it's really worth $425,000, don't worry about putting in a lowball offer, because you're not really lowballing. You're making a fair offer, but the seller's expectations are unrealistic. So in that scenario, when you do your homework, you explain to your client, and you kind of have to let them know that this may not work or this may work. You never know. So do your homework to make sure your clients are never, ever, ever, ever going to overpay for a house, because they will hate you. They will hate you forever and never work with you. And we cannot have that. That is bad for business. Moving on to step number 3, which is emailing the contract with a pre-approval and all the disclosures. Now, if you're not a real estate agent, you don't know what these are, this is the easiest thing in the world. They will explain to you probably in your licensing course, and it'll be nice and easy. You got nothing to worry about. But when you email the contract, make sure that it has everything you need in a small package, right? You want to make the job of the listing agent as easy as humanly possible, okay? So that's step number 3. And coupled with step number 4 in the very, very same email, and this is where I really reel it in, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what we do. When you email the offer, explain the offer. That is so valuable. Share your client's perspective and where they're coming from, right? And always speak on your client's behalf. Don't ever say, I feel this house is overpriced, because that is one way to get into an argument, and it's going to go nowhere, because the other real estate agents are going to be like, well, I did the homework and I say it's not. Don't do that, okay? Here's what you do. When you're emailing an offer, let's say a house is asking $400,000 and I'm coming in hot and heavy at $360,000, okay? Now I know this is not going to be received very well, and I know the agent's probably not going to want to present this offer as excited as he would like a $395 offer, right? So this is when you have to kind of get your money's worth, earn your paper, right? You get in there, you email them the contract and the pre-approval. In the same email, you explain, hey, we saw it, but after with the days on market and what's going on in the market, in the current condition my buyer's in, this is what he believes or she believes is a fair price for the home, and they're comfortable paying, right? And then we did this because we saw these comps, etc. Explain the offer. Or like if you need a 3-month closing deadline, explain why you need a 3-month closing deadline. I have once received offers in the email that says, see offer below. No address. I have no idea what house you're talking about. It's insane. So, explain your offer. This is when you sell, because most agents, ladies and gentlemen, this is when I discovered this, it was gravy, okay? This is top secret, okay? Listen to this. Most agents will simply forward that email over to the client. So if in the email you are explaining why you put the offer, what you were thinking when you put the offer, you're literally doing the listing agent's job. They're going to be thrilled. They don't have to explain anything anymore. They're simply going to forward it over to the buyer, to the seller, and now you have broken the fourth wall and you have direct access to the seller. And the beautiful part about the emails is you can take your time and craft it in a way that sells. That's extremely important. Now, number 5, this is kind of what puts the sandwich together. This is also, I think, one of the biggest reasons why I win most of my multiple offers, and that is the whole process, presentation, and my approach, right? Because as a listing agent, you're always concerned about deals falling through, right? So the approach and professionalism of the agent is extremely, extremely important. So don't be that agent that submits an offer and then nobody can get a hold of you for 3 days, right? Don't be that agent that's not responding to when you're gonna drop off earnest money. Be on top of everything and be ready. If they ask you questions, boom, hit them with the response right away, because that shows them how they're gonna be working with you during the escrow process, which is pretty much contract to close deadline, which is like 40 days. And I have literally won offers simply for being the more responsive agent, being there on time and answering the questions they've asked me in the most detailed fashion. So that's extremely important. I have be responsive and on top of things on my number 5 right here. So that's very, very important. I hope this video was helpful. This is some practical advice. So once you get in the field, you got a deal, you can actually look out for your clients, because I do see I see a lot of content being made towards how to get business, how to keep business, develop it, etc., how to cold call sales. But there's really not too much content out there explaining what to do once you received it. I don't know why me and other YouTubers assume you guys have no business. Some of you guys are crushing it. So that's what this video was. I just want to give you some practical advice, some things I've used, some things I've learned through multiple mistakes. So thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We're almost there. I'm at 1,000 almost. After that, we're going to be rich and famous. Life is going to be great. I'm going to take care of all of you. I'm just joking around. Thank you so much for everybody. If you have comments or if you have suggestions on more videos, please leave it down below and I'll definitely get to making every single one of them. Have a great day.